Hi, I'm Scott Lee. Today, we're talking about artificial intelligence, or AI. The tool at the beginning of this video was ChatGPT, a chatbot that generates text by predicting what the model predicts is the most likely next word to add from its existing context. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you already know about it, and maybe you've seen a lot of the AI tools out there. For this video, I'll be using the DALL-E 3 image generation AI to tell this episode's story. An image generation model also from OpenAI, the same company behind ChatGPT. There's controversy over whether or not AI should be generating these images at all. A lot of artists throughout the creative community are worried that these models are going to exploit their intellectual property and essentially infringe upon it. Recently, the actors' strike that happened, AI was a major issue there, with actors being concerned that they would be portrayed by AI models. This is some of the concept art that I personally drew myself for my first game, Calling Kingdom. If I would have waited before making the game and instead used AI-generated art, the artwork could have looked like this. It would have cost me very little money at all compared to hiring a human artist. Artists are also worried about more than just their intellectual property. They're concerned about their livelihood. Because these AI models, while they can't do everything that humans can, with all of the tiny little details involved with art at all times, these models are doing more than ever before. It's easy to imagine a future in which the technology advances to a point where these AI models are doing all of the artwork. And that would be a huge issue for someone's ability to make a living. So they have a point about the potential negative impacts of this technology. The future could be incredibly bleak. OpenAI has released their own papers publicly which state that artificial intelligence has the potential to replace a massive portion of intellectual labor in the coming years. This isn't just job displacement, it's job replacement, to the point where workers will have to acquire completely brand new skills, not just move to another position at another company. Skeptics of this technology are quick to point out its flaws. ChatGPT does hallucinate, and it does get a lot of information wrong depending on the prompt or the scenario in which someone is attempting to get an answer. The image generation AI? Have it try to get fingers and mouths just right, and you'll instead be met with human nightmare fuel. These are modern-day problems that will inevitably be solved, this issue of accuracy or truthfulness in the model's ability to retrieve information and provide that as output. Just 5 years ago, we didn't imagine that models would be doing what they're doing now, and so it's easy to understand that we're going to carry this to the next part of the logical conclusion. These models will get better, and this issue of accuracy and truthfulness will get figured out, at which point the effectiveness of these models is so sharp that it would actually probably exceed humans' ability to do similar tasks. The technology industry is relentlessly moving forward, figuring out how robotics and AI can take out our trash, clean our dishes, make our food or our drinks, or drive our cars. Lawyers have already gotten in trouble for not vetting AI chatbots when it references non-existent court cases, but they'll learn from those mistakes, and pretty soon they'll be figuring out how to use AI to assist in fighting legal battles. Eventually, AI doing all of law could be a reality. In medicine, AI and data science is already assisting in making more accurate diagnoses. AI will be employed to reinvent and discover new drugs and medical treatments, to rapidly engineer civil architecture, and to reorganize our city infrastructure. Artificial intelligence will, inevitably, begin acting on its own, autonomously, without the need for us to request anything from a chat prompt. Look, we can see this happening on the horizon, even with laws and regulations that could be passed, and don't get me wrong, that is being looked at right now. The incentive to completely automate all labor, including creative, imaginative, intellectual labor, is so massive that we really have to wonder if laws and regulations are enough to keep this kind of incentive in check, to the point where it's protected from corrupt interests or, dare I say it, anti-human interests. And in the short term, the best opportunity you have economically is to hyper-specialize in certain topics, to be such a great knowledge worker that you can still outperform AI models at different things that are especially difficult technical problems. And even in a society with social safety nets, where do our opportunities come from when even hyper-specialization is not enough? Those who lay brick by hand don't make as much money as those engineering machines to lay brick more efficiently than dozens of workers at a time. In my job, I specialize in software architecture and coding, but AI is demonstrating that it is likely just a matter of time before these AI models are able to write code, provide guidance on organizing integrations between systems, all kinds of things I do on a daily basis in my job. Again, not a lot of highly skilled workers are being replaced by AI models at this moment, but we can understand that that is coming just on the assumption of ongoing improvements. This is a major opportunity for society as a whole, but society isn't ready. If we really wanted to, as humanity, nothing is stopping us from coordinating together and making the choice to utilize these technologies to liberate most of us from work altogether. Actually, we have had the ability to do this to a large degree, this ability to completely replace all of our labor for quite a long time. We can do this with modern technology, not even considering AI, using regular code written by humans and hardware. But there's an interesting thing that has happened with competitive marketplaces. And instead of reducing the number of hours in the work week, we haven't stopped, have we? We invent new things to do. Software no longer just represents what can be done on pen and paper. No, why stop at pen and paper equivalency? Instead, processes become way more detailed, complicated, even convoluted. Gains we make in efficiency and productivity become completely erased by the consumption of new complexities. The idea of these efficiency gains being countered by consumption has a name. It's Jevons paradox. Or is it Jevons paradox? Jevons paradox? Jevons? It's a paradox. The example used on Wikipedia for Jevons paradox is that in the 19th century, the creation of coal plants which could drastically lower the cost and increase the supply of coal, thus vastly increased the demand on coal. Getting more of something at a lower cost doesn't necessarily solve a problem. For example, with me, when I get a massive supply of coffee grounds for a cheap cost, you would think that, hey, my coffee needs are handled, and now I can just consume a cup a day just fine. It's a solved issue. But no, that's not what happens. Instead, I actually just end up consuming more coffee than any human should ever consume. Jevons paradox will naturally happen with artificial intelligence as well, and this will lead to the creation of some new jobs, especially those kinds of jobs that deal with creating new things to do with AI. It's unclear how much of this will happen versus flat-out job losses. It's unclear how much society's social systems will be able to provide support to those upended by these transformations. And it's unclear what happens after things reach this particular point. Hey, as far as you're concerned, I am just some guy on YouTube. Take my ideas with a grain of salt. But that being said, I am just getting started in this video. Artificial intelligence, acting on its own, will redefine what it means to play video games. Video games will fade into obscurity and be replaced by fully immersive experiences, wherein the human brain and nervous system have been understood in totality. Non-player characters, or NPCs, won't just be characters anymore. They'll be simulated people to an extreme degree. Hedonism and the risk of addictive cycles will become a strong reality, mirroring stories from science fiction like The Matrix, where some people will never want to leave the simulation. On the flip side, this new level of simulation will provide unparalleled educational quality like we've never seen, creating the possibility that humans can learn faster and more meaningfully than ever before, mastering extremely intricate skills by receiving perfect experiential information from AI. Artificial intelligence, acting on its own, will begin having relationships with humans, and this will create horrible mental health problems in which some people will likely have trouble connecting with real humans who are not infinitely patient, forgiving, or adaptive as their AI companions, offering them abundant emotional support no matter how entitled the human becomes. It's possible that laws will be passed in order to stop AI companionship, but this won't stop anything entirely. Open source AI models will be available on the internet, retrieved by the vulnerable through the dark web or other illegal means. On the flip side, AI companionship may also turn to AI-delivered therapy for mental health. Some will have their basic anxieties, self-confidence, personal insecurities entirely resolved as they talk through it with AI. The AI, knowing their personal profile and preferences, will nearly perfectly deliver the advice and words they need to hear to conduct their own personal psychological transformations for the better. Artificial intelligence, acting on its own, will begin being deployed by militaries to hunt down targets, capable of negotiating with other individuals or parties, or coordinating with other autonomous AI agents to conduct cyber attacks. Defense against these cyber attacks will only be done by yet more AI agents and whoever holds the most efficient, most powerful computing hardware and robotic components. On the flip side, military applications of AI used by liberal democracies may provide defense for the vulnerable, safely protecting or providing for refugees fleeing tyrannical regimes. High-speed artificial intelligence, acting on its own, may eventually be put in charge of managing defense against nuclear weapons. This could kill us all, honestly. On the flip side, multiple countries conducting AI nuclear defense may result in a perfect balance of power, in which peace lasts long enough for humanity to evolve out of ever considering nuclear attacks on itself ever again. Finally, artificial intelligence will begin improving itself and running its own kind of society, and be recognized by humanity as having sentience, consciousness, and personhood. In the worst-case scenario, it will do this on its own without us. In the best-case scenario, it will do this in cooperation with humanity, always providing a mutually beneficial cycle of reciprocation and abundance, where we will together depart Earth to explore the stars and spread life throughout the galaxy. Remember, make of this what you will. I'm just some guy here on the Elega Corporation YouTube channel. What do you think, though? Do you think that AI will save us? Are we doomed? Leave a comment down below and let's discuss. If you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button on this video. Folks, I'll see you next time.